Today we're just going to go ahead and make some ready to heat and eat meals in the freezer. Plus, talk about this box and this cast iron. It's a very interesting story. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you are with Grammy in the kitchen. So I do not have any more French toast in the freezer. So we're going to go ahead and make our bread so that we can make the French toast. And we're going to go ahead and make some more pizzas because we have been going through pizzas a lot lately. And then we're going to talk about this box. It's a very interesting story. I hope you stick around. It's going to be a great day. And I am excited as you are about getting into this box and explaining to you how I acquired this box. And as for dinner tonight, we went ahead and took out one of our frozen meals that we did on the mega freezer meal. I took out some hamburger steak with gravy and one of our bags of mashed potatoes. So that's what we're going to have for dinner tonight. Something easy. I don't have to think about preparing, cooking, etc. It is ready for us. All we have to do is let it thaw, put it in the oven, heat up those potatoes. We have dinner. But first, we need to go ahead and get started on the pizza dough. Let's do this. Now this is just my basic pizza recipe. I have shown this video many times, but just as a refresher and to those who are new here, I do make our own homemade frozen pizzas. I recently converted my pizza, my regular hand-tossed pizza, into a cast iron pizza, and the husband seems to love it even more. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to go ahead and get started on the dough so we can stick that in the refrigerator so it can rise. So it's a very simple recipe. So we have 3 cups of water, a 1/4 cup of sugar, 4 teaspoons of yeast. We're just going to mix this up and let the yeast bloom. And then we're going to add 4 teaspoons of salt, a 1/4 cup of oil, and 8 cups of flour. Alright, so we know that this is going to make us 4 pizzas. So we're just going to knead it just a little bit. Put those crumbs back in here. See how they're falling apart? That's okay. It's okay, we got this. So we're just going to put it all back into this dough ball. It should be a little tacky, but not sticky. All right, it's coming together. Beautiful. Mopping up all the bits and pieces off of the countertop. All right, there we go. We got it now. Our reusable ziplock bags that already have oil in them. We took these out of the freezer this morning. Go ahead and divide this into 4s. You can weigh the bulk of the dough, find out what 1/4 would be, and weigh that also. I'm just going to eyeball it. You can see this one's just a little bit too big. I'm going to borrow a little bit, add to it. And now we're going to give this a smooth edge. And into our oil bags. And now we're going to go ahead and put our pizza dough in the refrigerator for them to rise and almost double in size. Now you can freeze your pizza dough at this stage if you want. Then when you take it out of the freezer, leave it in the bag, put it in your refrigerator, let it thaw and rise at the same time. Or you can leave it in the refrigerator for up to 2 days. After that, the yeast will be so activated that you will not be able to use that pizza dough. It'll be just too airy, I guess you would say. So if you're not going to use it within 2 days, by all means, stick it in the freezer. But I personally like ready to heat and eat pizzas, so we are going to go ahead and make the pizza, wrap them up, and stick them straight into the freezer. That way, when we want a pizza, all we have to do is take it out, unwrap it, put it back in the cast iron skillet, and stick it in the oven to warm it up and melt that cheese. So, one task is done. Let's go ahead and make the bread for the French toast. So, anytime you're making a bread or a bread product, in addition to the water, the flour, the yeast, and the salt, or any kind of oil, you need a sweetener. I use organic raw cane sugar for my pizza. That's the way we like it. I don't mess with the recipe at all. I leave it just like that. But for bread, I do like to experiment or change up the sugars that go in my bread. So I have used maple syrup, coconut sugar, regular cane sugar, honey, any kind of sweetener. You can pretty much do 1-to-1 ratio to any kind of sweetener that you put in your bread. Because I am making the bread into French toast, figured I'd go ahead and just use honey. In the mixing bowl, I have 2 cups of water, and we're going to add a 1/2 cup of honey, and 1½ teaspoon of yeast. And we're going to let that sit right here until the yeast is bloomed. Our yeast has bloomed. You see that nice little ring going on around there? That is our yeast blooming. 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and we're going to need 5 to 6 cups of flour. We're going to start off by putting 2 cups, and we're going to make a sponge. Once that's incorporated into the liquids, then we'll slowly add in the rest of our flour. And the reason we're saying 5 to 6 cups is because 5 might be enough, 6 might be enough, 5 1/4, 5 1/2, 5 3/4, depending on the humidity in your home will determine how much flour you need to add. When you're making breads, flour cannot be a set measurement. It will vary from day to day, from week to week, from month to month, and also according to the season. Alright, so we have 5 cups in here, I think. I lost count. But you can see that it's trying to pull away from the bowl, but it's still sticky. So this is when we're going to start adding flour in slowly until it comes together into a dough ball. Alright, so it's starting to come together, but it's still attached to the side of the bowl. We're going to be adding flour a little bit at a time. Alright, it's all pulled off of the bowl, but when I put my finger on it, it is sticking to my finger, so it is not ready. We need to add just a tad bit more flour. Still sticking to the finger. Perfect. And now we need to knead it by hand for a minimum of 8 minutes. Put a little bit of flour on my bench, and I'm just going to rotate it, pull it, push it into the center, going around the dough. And we're going to do this for 8 minutes. Adding flour as we need until it's no longer sticky. If it's starting to stick to your hand, then you know you need to add flour. If it's starting to stick to your bench, add flour. If it's not doing any of those things, you do not need to add flour. Just knead it and add flour as you need to. Let the dough talk to you and tell you what it needs. Alright, so I'll bring you right back when this 8 minutes is up. I did add a little bit of flour, and now we are ready. I'm bringing all the raw edges together, pinching it. Look at that beautiful dough. Same bowl we mixed in. Add a good little swish of oil. So this is the side we pinched. This is the top. So this is going to go down first. Give it a swish, swish, swish. Flip it. Make sure the bowl is well oiled and your dough is well oiled. Piece of saran wrap. And that is what our dough ball looks like right now. I do have a proof setting on my gas stove for the oven. So I'm going to hit the proof setting, put this in the oven, and it would hold it about 110 degrees and let the dough rise. I don't allow my bread to rise at a certain time, such as 30 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll let it rise however long the bread needs. So we're going to let this rise doubled in size till it's almost, if not touching the top of this saran wrap. I'll bring you back when I'm ready to form the loaves. Alright, so the pizza dough is made. It's in the refrigerator rising. We went ahead and made our bread dough. That's in the oven proofing, rising. So let me tell you about this box. So the husband and I was about 45 minutes to an hour away from our house. And we were running some errands. And we had a bag of clothes that we wanted to donate to Goodwill. So we went ahead and took that with us also. That way if we pass the Goodwill, we can just drop it off. And I like going in Goodwill anyway because everybody knows I'm trying to collect glass bakeware. So while we were in line in the donation area dropping off that bag, I noticed there was a small pickup truck right in front of me. And in the back of that pickup truck was this box and this cast iron skillet, just like this, in the truck in front of me. So I went up to the truck and I asked the lady, "Are you donating that cast iron skillet?" And she goes, "Yes, I am." I says, "Do you mind if I take it before you donate it?" And she goes, "Oh, no problem. If you want, you can have the box. There's more things in there." And I was like, "No, that's okay. If you're planning on donating it, that's fine." And she goes, "No, it's okay. Go ahead and take it." And I asked her, I says, "Are you planning on getting a donation receipt? Because I'm unable to give you a donation receipt." She goes, "No, just consider it a gift." And I said, "Thank you." The cast iron skillet is the big cast iron skillet, same size I use when I make my pizzas. And I was just thinking the other day, I would love to have a second one of the same size so I can cook more than one pizza at a time. And the Lord blessed us with another large cast iron skillet. So this one is mine. And this is the one we were given. The exact same size. Do you understand how ecstatic I was? This one cast iron skillet was a blessing. I have peeked in this box, but I haven't really gone through this box because I wanted you with me when we did this together. So now we're going to go ahead and open this box and pull everything out and see what this nice lady gifted us. I believe the Lord put us in that area to go to that Goodwill to meet this lady at the right time. I believe it was an intervention from God. Yes, she could have donated this and the money would have gone, and it could have been sold and the money would have gone to a good cause. I'm not disputing that one bit. But the fact that I met this lady at this particular Goodwill that I've never been to before, at this time, you can't tell me it wasn't God's intervention. I believe that 100%. She could have been like, "No, I'm going to donate it to Goodwill, but, you know, if you want to buy it from them, you could." But she says, "Take the box." And I bless God for this. So let's open this up and see what we have. Like I said, I've peeked in the box, but I haven't pulled the things out. So we have a small, it looks like a tray that would go into a toaster oven. I don't have a toaster oven, but if none of my kids can use it, I will donate everything back to Goodwill. We have a small casserole dish. It's an 8 by 11.5 by 2. That's a good size casserole dish. So now we have another casserole dish to add to our collection. And then there's a rose gold casserole dish. And you know, this stuff has a Goodwill price on it. I'm wondering if it was purchased from Goodwill and then redonated. This is a 3-quart. It's a 13 by 9. So now we have 2 more casserole dishes. All the cast iron is going to have to be scrubbed and cleaned and re-oiled. We have a small cast iron dish. Oh wow, that's cute. It's called Dash of That. This is an 8-inch casserole dish. We have, looks like a 10-inch casserole pan or a pie pan. Oh, this would make a beautiful chicken pot pie or cinnamon rolls. Gabriel and Liam, if you're listening to me, tell me if I need to make cinnamon rolls in this. Wow, we've got a lot of cake pans. We have a very cute little 3-quart beautiful teal Dutch oven. We have some Teflon dishes. That's a nice size Teflon dish. But you know how I feel about Teflon. So I'm unsure if I'm going to keep that. We have a brand new, still with the label on it, 8-inch cast iron skillet. Some Paula Deen pots and pans. Another Teflon dish cookware. A small Teflon cookware. We've got another 10-inch cast iron. We have a Rachel Ray Teflon cookware. That's probably the lid that goes to this big pot down here, or a big pan. Another Teflon. Another pie pan, but cast iron. A cast iron griddle. I have been wanting one of these for a long time. This is beautiful. It would take cooking French toast to a new level. It's got a flat side and a ribbed side. So this one has the ribs and this side is the flat. I'm excited. We have 3 different cutting boards. That's a good sized cutting board. A medium sized cutting board. And then we got a brand new, still with the label, bamboo cutting board. And that's everything in this box. Whenever I get new or used cast iron cookware, I do scrub them with soap and water. That being said, once I wash them with soap and water, I will season them with some coconut oil, put it in the oven for about 250 degrees, and let that cook the oil into the cast iron. That way it'll be seasoned. Once I season it, I will not use soap on my cast iron again. So because these are new to us, we're going to wash these really well with Brillo, soap, and water. And then we're going to dry it off really well with some paper towels. then we're going to let them air dry completely before we put the coconut oil on it and bake it. But I'm just going to go through and wash all the cast iron so I get it ready to go into the oven. I have all of the dishes that we're going to keep from the box, or that my children want. All the cast iron has been cleaned. I have the oven preheating to 250 degrees. We're going to go ahead and season the cast iron now. We went ahead and took our bread out of the oven. It has risen beautiful. But before we work on that, I want to go ahead and get all the cast iron seasoned and start cooking in the oven. Won't be able to do it all at once, but we'll just go through it until we get them all done. They are heavy. So I have the large baking sheet. I have my coconut oil. The baking sheet is actually in the oven on the bottom rack. And then the cast iron, after I grease it, the inside, the outside, the bottom, the handles, we'll put this on the top rack. So they're not going to sit on the baking dish per se. The baking dish is just there to collect any oils that will drip off of the cast iron while it's being seasoned. So we're going to put a liberal coat of coconut oil. This is the pan I was very, very excited about. This very large cast iron skillet. I love making my pizzas, and the one I already have, and having two is just going to be a plus. Okay, the oven is up to temperature at 250 degrees. I'm able to get 3 pans in there. The very large pan is right there, plus the 2 smaller ones are right there. And we're going to let these cook for 1 hour. But in the meantime, we're going to wash our hands. We're going to get our dough ready to do its second proof in the loaf pan. I have my 2-pound loaf pan and my 1-pound loaf pan. So we're going to go ahead and get these oiled up with the coconut oil. And here is our dough. Absolutely gorgeous. Now you can weigh this if you want. I'm going to eyeball it. 2/3 will go in the large pan and 1/3 will go into the small pan. So So we got it flattened out. We're going to fold it into thirds, flatten it out, fold it in thirds the other way. We have no flour, no oil, nothing on our surface. The oil that was on this dough is plenty. All right, now we're going to start rolling it and giving it a pull as we're rolling. Make sure we seal the seam together. And this right here will be the bottom. Now we're going to go ahead and tuck in the ends. Give it a good pinch. On the other side, give it a good pinch. And the 1 pound is in the pan. Now let's do the other one. Same way. You can use a rolling pin if you like, but this dough is so soft you don't have to. So fold it into thirds. And then fold it into thirds. Flatten it out again. Now we're going to start rolling it up. Tugging as we're rolling. Pulling that piece over and pinch, pinch, pinch. Again, that's the bottom. Tuck in those ends. And in the loaf pan it goes. We're covering it up using the same saran wrap we had on our bowl. And that way we can keep an eye on it as it's rising. Once it is doubled in size again, we'll put our oiled lids on top and then we're going to bake it. We won't be able to put these in the oven to do its second proof or second rise because we're using the oven to season or cure our cast iron dishes. So this is just going to have to stay on the counter. I do have the AC on, so it's a little chilly, cold, cool. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a little cooled in the house, so it's going to take longer for it to rise, but that's okay. We got plenty time because we got more pans we have to season or cure. So it's just going to sit here until we're ready. And I don't want to get started on the pizzas because, again, I need the oven in order to do that. Plus, I want to be able to use that new, very large cast iron skillet we got yesterday. So at the moment, we're at a standstill, but that's okay. So the cast iron has been in the oven for an hour, and that was just the first 3. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Ooh, that is hot. Gotta make sure I'll tell the husband if he was walking around the island, be careful, this is hot. I got the oven set on 350 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and put in our hamburger steak. I was gonna do the bread, but it's not quite ready yet. We're just gonna let those rise a little bit longer. But these pans are ready to be used. This is awesome. So the hamburger steaks in the oven, we're going to let those cook for an hour. The mashed potatoes will be really simple. All we have to do is put that in the pan with a little bit of milk. I don't have any more regular milk, so we're going to be using our powdered milk and adding water to it to hydrate it back up and make our milk to go into our mashed potatoes. But we're not going to do that yet. So they've cooled off slightly, or a lottie. They've cooled off. I'm just going to take a clean paper towel and wipe off any residue. As soon as dinner is ready, we're going to go ahead and cook our bread, and then we'll finish the other 3 of the cast irons. Very productive day today. Pizza might have to wait till tomorrow, but that's okay. It's just fine as long as we get it done and we don't waste our dough. Alright, so these are ready to be put away and share with the family. Let's go ahead and make a little bit of milk from our powdered milk so we can heat up our potatoes. I don't measure, just a scoop and go. That looks good to me. And our mashed potatoes that we stuck in ziplock bag, which some of y'all had gave me some advice on doing scoops, which I will follow next time. So let's dump this in our pot right here. Great. Still a little frozen, but that is okay. I'm going to add a little bit of butter. I know it has butter in it, but I like a lot of butter in my mashed potatoes. So we're just going to wait on the potatoes. We're waiting on the hamburger steak. Our bread is rising. Beautiful. That was the 2-pound loaf. That's the 1-pound loaf. The heat from the oven will come out from the back of the stove. So I have it right here so that the heat will help the bread to rise. So we're going to go ahead and put our bread in the oven. We're going to put the lids on. The hamburger steak is still in there. Bread's going in the oven. The hamburger steak has another 30 minutes. The bread's going to be there for 45 minutes. Okay, dinner is ready. The hamburger steak with the gravy has been heated up. We heated up the mashed potatoes. I was debating if I wanted another side, but I don't think I am. I think we're just going to stick with the potatoes and the gravy and the hamburger steak. That's okay. It's okay. The bread has about 10 more minutes and it'll be done. And then we're going to go ahead and finish the rest of the cast iron cookware. So, let me show you what dinner looks like. The husband's outside doing yard work. I'm going to call him in here for dinner very, very soon. But that's our hamburger steak. This was from the mega freezer meals that we made together, as well as the mashed potatoes. So, I took the temperature of the hamburger and it is reading 170 degrees, and that's what we want because we did use turkey. Mashed potatoes, added a little bit more milk to it, and they heated up beautiful. put some gravy on those potatoes. Look at that, family. Oh, that looks so good. Now we already know this dinner is good because we made it as a freezer meal and we've already eaten one of the hamburger steaks already. We really do know this is good. But for you new viewers out there, let's give it a taste. Still really good. Oh my goodness. This is one of the easiest freezer meals to reheat that we have. Potatoes. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. The bread has been in the oven for 45 minutes. Let's check the progress. Ooh, that is so hot. All right, let's open up this little one. Oh, that is so beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, yum, yum. And let's check the 2-pound loaf. Yep. Just as pretty as the last time. Perfect. Perfect. Now while these are cooling for us to be able to take them out of the pan, and then they got to cool completely before we slice it, then we got to make our French toast. So we're probably not going to get to the French toast till tomorrow, but you will see this on this video. And the same with the pizzas. But I'm going to go ahead and oil the rest of the cast iron and get those in the oven now, as soon as I find a home for this. So we have had a very, very productive day. We've made bread. We made our pizza dough. We cleaned all of the cast iron and the dishes from the mystery box. We've seasoned half of the cast iron. We need to season the other half. And we also got dinner on the table. So the only thing we have to do tomorrow is make the French toast and get those in the freezer, and make the pizza and get those in the freezer. But we're going to go ahead and get the last 3 pans with the coconut oil and get these in the oven, and then we'll do the griddle last. I'm excited with these cast iron pie pans. I think they will make beautiful chicken pot pie. They'll make beautiful cinnamon rolls. Oh, I'm really, really excited. You can put biscuits in here. I mean, it's just endless. Possibilities are just endless. Can you see the little rust right there? I'm not sure if the lighting is going to catch it. But that is why you need to make sure they're completely dry and they're well seasoned. Okay, so the husband came in from doing yard work. Let me go ahead and get him a plate so he can have his dinner. And if I don't see you anymore tonight, I will definitely see y'all tomorrow morning. Good morning, family. It's now the next day, but that's okay. We'll get it done. So I have the 2 large cast iron skillets in the oven warming up so we can make our pizzas. Our bread came out of the pans. Beautiful. We're going to turn that into French toast. I've got 8 pieces of parchment paper ready for us so that we can roll it out on the countertop, put it in the oven, and then we got a place to put them when they come out of the oven, out of the pans. I have my polenta or cornmeal, and sad news, this is the last jar of pasta sauce that we have left. that is in our very near future, making some more pasta sauce. But we're going to turn this into a pizza sauce. The pizza doughs have been in the refrigerator for 24 hours. That's okay. We're still within that 2-day window to be able to use those. I just came in from watering all the plants outside, our carrots and our cilantro, and all of our herbs, and the jalapeno peppers. That's the word I'm trying to say. I went ahead and watered the tomato plants. I think they're at the end of their journey, but that's okay. We've got plans for those buckets very soon. So let's go ahead and get started on the pizza sauce and get some pizzas in the oven. Now, if this is the first time you visit my kitchen while we make pizzas, we do this very often, but I just recently started using the cast iron skillet instead of a hand toss pizza. We're doing pan pizza. Got my coffee. I hope you have your coffee or whatever your morning beverages of choice. Cheers. Let's get started. So we needed a new can opener, so when the husband was at the store, I asked him to pick me up another can opener. But this has, it looks like a bottle opener right here in the front. This right here. See if it opens up our jars a lot easier. Game changer. Game changer, big time. We're going to add a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to have to fill up all my kitchen staples very soon. I went ahead and took one of our bags of mozzarella out of the freezer. That's waiting on us. This is one of our pizza doughs. Got our dough roller. Alright, let's just flatten this out just a bit. We're just trying to make this the size of the bottom of our large cast iron skillet. We're going to put some polenta in the bottom. A little bit of avocado oil. Should have done that first, but that's okay. We got this. Oh, listen to that sizzle. That's a hot pan, guys. Alright, this one's going to go in the oven. I need to fill up my avocado oil and some polenta. And now this is going to go in the oven. And the pizzas, 2 of them, are in the oven. I got it set for 20 minutes. We'll check to see if they're par baked or have some color around the edge. Then we'll take those out and repeat the process for the other 2. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get our bread sliced and ready for French toast. This is our 1-pound loaf. Let's go ahead and get it sliced up. They've been sitting on the counter for over 12 hours. I took them out of the pan last night before I went to bed, and they're nice and cool. Just had it sitting on the countertop waiting on us for today. This is our 2-pound loaf. This is one of our new cutting boards that we got from the mystery box, and I washed it, let it dry, and we are using it for the first time right now. Alrighty, our bread has been sliced and it's sitting here waiting on us. Go ahead and get our cardboards ready. It is such a game changer to be able to cook 2 of these at one time. Let's take this one out. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and put sauce on here. Since my pizzas are a little bit smaller than when I was hand tossing them, I might not be able to use this whole quart, but it will not go to waste. If I have to, I'll put it in a freezer safe container, and we'll just stick it in the freezer until the next time. And the same thing with the cheese. Might not take it all, but that is okay. One pizza is done. Family, this is a cheesy, cheesy pizza. Alright, 2 pizzas are done. Let me set these aside. Go ahead and get another 2 going into the oven. And now this one going in the oven. Set the timer for 20 minutes. Our pizza proofing bags that has the oil already in them. And put it in another Ziploc bag. And we're going to put this in the freezer until the next time we need to make pizzas. We're at a standstill until those pizzas come out of the oven. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get our egg mixture ready for the French toast. I'm going to go ahead and use one of our brand new pie pans. I think it'd be easier to get the bread in and out with the egg mixture. That is huge. Can you see how big that one is? Wow, that is so cool. All right, we're going to start off with 8 eggs. Let's add a little sugar. About 4 teaspoons. And some cinnamon. Let's say 1.5 teaspoons. A good pinch of salt. This is some powdered milk that I added to some water. And that is ready for us. So I have the griddle on 2 burners, and both burners are on. They're on a medium low. I'm letting the pan get really, really hot. I'm not sure how many slices I'll be able to get on this, but we got this, guys. I do want to put some butter on the pan. Oh yeah, that's nice and hot. Family, I am so excited to have this griddle. The Lord has blessed us. Alright, so just out of your view, I have my pan cinnamon egg mixture. So we have a slice of bread going into the cinnamon egg mixture on the griddle. Now you don't have to use cinnamon. You can use pumpkin pie spice. You can use whatever savory spices you like. Allspice, it doesn't matter. Just pick one that you like. I personally would love to make it with pumpkin, but the husband's not a fan, so we're not going to do it. Looks like I can get 7, and if I laid it in there right, I probably could have gotten 8, but that is okay. That is okay. Looks like this center area right here is still cold, so I might have to move them around on the griddle, but that's okay. We got this. Second batch of pizzas are done, and we're just going to go ahead and repeat the process as we did for the first set. Look at that gorgeous color right there. And right over here, I have the large baking sheet with parchment paper. That's where we'll be placing our French toast for them to cool. Now we're just going to repeat the process. So I've got a system. I figured it out. So I put the new French toast here, and then take the old French toast from here, and I'm constantly turning them and moving them in this direction, because this seems to be getting hotter faster. See how beautiful that color is? It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm moving everything towards the back. And the new here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start making another batch of eggs. Finish the French toast. I'll give you the final egg count for the French toast and how many pieces we have and how many pre-packaged frozen breakfasts we'll end up with when we're done. Pizza's done. Working on the French toast. We are almost done. So we already have 15 underneath this parchment paper. Now we're starting another layer. And I did add 4 more eggs, sugar, cinnamon, salt, and milk to our pan. A dozen eggs is perfect for those 2 loaves of bread. And we have our 4 end pieces. Just going to stick these in the freezer, and when I need breadcrumbs or bread cubes, this will be part of that process. They will not go to waste. But I'm not going to crack any more eggs just to do these 4 end pieces. I think we did really good, family. 12 eggs, 3 pounds of bread. Whew. Finally got it done. Pizzas are in the refrigerator, cooling off before we wrap those and put them in the freezer. French toast is right here. So going forward, since we're making our pizzas smaller and thicker, when I shred and package our pizza cheese, I need to do it a little different. So you know, when we bought this cheese from Azure Standard and we graded it and we put it in ziplock bags, we put 2 pounds in here, because when I was doing the regular pizza crust, it took 2 pounds for 4 pizzas. Well, I have 13 ounces left. So that means I only use 1 pound and 3 ounces, which is 19 ounces. So moving forward, the next time we do cheese, we need to put them in Ziploc bags of 19 ounces only instead of 2 pounds. And a quart size pasta sauce re-seasoned into pizza sauce, 1 quart was perfect, but I have maybe a cup left in here. I'm not going to make jars 1 cup less just because of this. So what I'll do is I'll just stick this in the freezer, and then every time we make pizza, I'll just add to it or put another jar in the freezer. So I'm assuming moving forward we're going to do 19 ounces of cheese in Ziploc bags to put them in the freezer for our pizzas, and the leftover 1 cup of pizza sauce, we're just also going to put this in the freezer until we have 3 of these, which will be enough for another batch of pizza. So we're going to let the French toast cool down so we can wrap that up, and then we need to wrap our pizzas. I need to put our bread ends in a Ziploc bag and stick this in the freezer. But overall, this was a perfect day. Well, perfect 2 days. I just want to say thank you so much for sticking around while we made pizza dough and pizzas, bread dough, bread, and French toast, so we can have some ready to heat and eat breakfast and pizza. If you would, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up on this video. It will help for the algorithm to get out there so we can show other families how to make real food with real ingredients that are nutrient dense, that will feed our bodies so we could go and do the things we need to do each and every day. While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you part of the Grammy family. We actually have a Facebook group, it's Grammy in the Kitchen, of course. Please start following that page. Leave your questions, leave your comments, whatever you have to say, you could say it there. I have an Instagram page. It's Grammy_in_the_kitchen. You'll see it written right there. Go check out that and start following me there. I don't do a lot of posts on Instagram, but when I do, I would love to have you to see the posts that we put out there. But I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me and following along on the journey of Grammy's Kitchen. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, family. Oh, one more thing. You saw the unboxing that we got from Goodwill from a very generous lady that was dropping off and gifted that box to us. If anything has ever happened to you similar to that, doesn't have to be a Goodwill, doesn't have to be a thrift store, but just somebody gifting you something that you in your mind thought, I could really use something like this, and then it just pretty much fell in your lap. Leave a comment below and share with us how God has blessed you from the kindness of strangers. I would love to hear it. And I think everybody else here also. We would love to hear how God has blessed you through the gift of strangers. So, with that being said, you have a blessed day. Bye, family. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap up our French toast first. My husband did eat 3, but that is okay. That's what we made it for. So let's go ahead and get them into 3s and put them in a Ziploc bag. And we're using the same parchment paper. We got them sitting on here. No waste. So we have 9 that have 3, and we have 2 that have 2. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap up our pizzas. So we have our cardboard, parchment paper, our pizza, and parchment paper. And then on the second sheet of plastic wrap, we turn it a 90 degrees and wrap it the other way. One's wrapped. Now we're going to do the other 3. Unless husband wants pizza tonight or no?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so we're going to leave 1 out of the freezer to have for dinner tonight. So we just got to wrap up 3. So I'm just going to put this one back in the refrigerator because that's one we're going to have for dinner tonight. The other 3 are going to go into the freezer. And then I'm going to put the French toast in the deep freezer in the pantry.